Now, before any of y'all go out there and say in the comment section of this video, Lego Auston Matthews would be the best player on your team, I don't necessarily disagree. Like, he's amazing, he's fantastic, he's great, but, this version of Auston Matthews, back when he was one of the most productive goal scorers in the league, doesn't really seem to exist anymore, and now we have some of the numbers that could explain why. Now, everybody knows Auston Matthews. He's one of the most marketed stars in the National Hockey League. Papi, first overall, 2016, touted as a franchise borderline generational goal scorer for the Toronto Maple Leafs, and honestly, I'm not going to disagree with that notion. The fact that he was able to score 69 goals in 81 games in 23-24 was ridiculous, and only somebody who is labeled as a generational goal scorer could even come close to thinking about 69 goals. Now, obviously, we recognize that 2 seasons ago, when Auston Matthews had this season, they kind of put the pressure on Auston Matthews to get to 70. And I say they, as in essentially everybody. The media, the fans, the market, everybody was talking about Auston Matthews scoring his 70th goal and becoming the first NHL player since who knows when to get 70 in a season. Alas, he didn't get 70, but if we head over to the end of that 23-24 campaign, we will see that it was not for a lack of effort. Yes, it's true that Auston Matthews did not get any goals in the final 2 games of the year, but how many shots did he have in the final 2 games of the year? He had 17 and 12 shots against the Tampa Bay Lightning in the last game to get to 70. This guy was a puck-throwing machine. You talk about Yoshinobu throwing all those pitches to bat, well, Auston Matthews was chucking every piece of vulcanized rubber that he had towards the goal. But these days, he's not scoring as much. Last year, he only had 33 goals in 67 games, and this year he's got 5 goals in 11. On pace for 37, which, under normal circumstances, people would say 37 goals is fine, but 37 is a far cry from 69. It's a far cry from what Auston Matthews has established is possible. But the question is that still possible? Let's go out there and head over to Twitter and read a post made by Michael DiStefano that posted this yesterday to varying results and responses. Wow, he says, this stat kind of puts Matthews' scoring woes into perspective. Auston Matthews has more 5v5 goals than anyone since he joined the NHL in 2016-17. However, he only has 1 goal at 5v5 this season, and just 6 goals at 5v5 since February 1st, which is a .59 goals per 60, which ranks 250th in the league since then. So, since February 1st, which was X amount of months ago in 2025, Auston Matthews only has 6 goals at 5v5 and .59 goals per 60. Here are some of the players whose company he keeps. Capo Caco, Connor Zary, Jesper Bratt. Now, Bratt is an amazing player, so we're not gonna toss him under the bridge here. Eli Tolvanen and Jolki Viranta as well. Now you can see Auston Matthews has a much higher assists per 60 than most of these guys, spare Bratt, so he is still getting production, but when it comes to the thing that got him paid, the goals on the paper, the fact that he got 69 of them 2 years ago, he is not going out there and producing those goals anymore. Now, there are some responses. He's finished before he turns 28. F my life, Ryan, who is an apparent Toronto Maple Leafs fan, goes out there and says on Twitter to 60,000 views, never mind, he actually just turned 28, lol. The point remains. Some replies are saying, hey, I think a lot of this is because of Craig Berube. I think this is partially because of how Berube has asked him to play. It's only going to get worse with Marner gone to take some of the extra responsibility away. Matthews is in his early 2010s Ovi phase where he stopped scoring. They changed the coach in Washington, and Ovi came back to life. Another response says he's objectively the best player I've ever seen play for this franchise who could just score so effortlessly, and he's now washed up because of a series of mystery injuries before 30. Only the Leafs, man. Bro has 2 seasons of 50-plus goals in his career, and Leafs fans swore to me he'd beat Ovi's record, lol. Now, that's a lot of discourse that I think was valid at the time. Auston Matthews potting up 2 60-goal seasons and 1 near 70 was enough ammo for fans all over the world to say, yeah, if there's anybody that's going to beat Gretzky/Ovi's goal record, Auston Matthews has the best chance of doing so. But now he's on pace for 37 goals this year, and there's even more discourse as to why this scoring has dipped. Let's head over to the R Leafs sub and read what some of the folks over here have to say, because they have some pretty interesting hypotheses. Hypotheses? I don't know. You know what the word is. It's the same stat that was posted here since February 1st, 2025. Matthews is 250th in goals per 60 at 5v5, and he's only got 6 of them. Top comment said, Matthews had a historic 2023-2024 season when he scored 69 goals. Then, some sort of injury happened in training camp or the start of last year, and he has just never been the same. His deceptive shot is just gone. This was also evident in Four Nations. What made him extraordinary is now ordinary, so he looks like any other center out there. He also struggled last year when Marner fed him so many opportunities, and he did nothing with them. The injury was in the Detroit game near the end of the 69-goal season, if I recall correctly. Another response says, I believe that is what blew Toronto's best chance at a cup run with this crew, letting Matthews desperately chase 70 goals by trying to fire 10 shots every night in basically meaningless games, and letting Marner play huge minutes chasing 100 points in those same games, instead of telling the team to rest up and set some records in the playoffs instead. Another reply says, well, for me, it was Sam Bennett elbowing Stolars in the head blowing our best shot, but I digress. This is something that you can take a look at. If you go back to 23-24, this was that game that they were talking about. Third last game of the season for Auston Matthews. He had 10 shots on goal and an assist. He had 10 shots on goal and a goal, a power play goal, and he ended up getting a pretty weird and non-explainable injury that sort of hovered around at that point, and now we're looking at the aftermath of that. Folks are going out there and saying that this might have been the reason as to why Auston Matthews is washed now. The guy lost out a lot of that scoring touch. His deception is gone. He got a concussion in Game 80 versus Detroit 2024 when he skated into Willie and slammed headfirst into the boards. The Leafs' post-game vibes were super weird after that, and they removed the sequence from the game highlights. You know what causes bad nervous system responses when you're sick? Concussions. Another reply says, ironically, one of the few guys who took the shorter deal, and he might be wishing he took a longer one. Whereas we, the fans, were mostly upset about that at the time, and now it might actually be a good thing. It's sad to think that our best moments with these players are already in the past. Oh my gosh, are they saying it's not going to get better than 69 goals for Auston Matthews? This guy is only 28 years old. I think there's a lot of reason to believe that, hey, the best would be yet to come for this guy, right? But it seems like some fans are saying the contrary. That's depressing. Another reply says, this is a legitimate concern for Matthews. Matthews in his prime was a top 5 player in the league. This year and last, he is just an elite first-line center. This team needs him to be the Matthews they built their hopes and aspirations on again. And it's also sad to see a man who was on pace to be a generational goal scorer fall off from that. He's performing at the level of a very good second-line center while being paid to be an elite first-line center. Last year was considered an anomaly for Matthews. Unfortunately, 11 games into a second season, it's starting to feel like the new normal for him. If he's hurt, LTIR him and send him to Germany and get him healthy. If this is just how he plays now, well, the Leafs need to start looking for a first-line center. With that in mind, I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comments. How do you feel about Auston Matthews and the way he has progressed so far? Folks are saying that he's washed. Do you agree? Fans are saying that he's washed. Do you agree? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and whether or not you think panicking about this is justified. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.